Cameras seem to come and go, but some leave a lasting impression. The Fuji X-T1, released back in 2014, was a game changer for mirrorless cameras. Today I'm out here on my sunny balcony in Da Nang, Vietnam, and I'm talking about the Fuji X-T1 and if it's still worth using in 2025. I've had this camera for a while now, but I've never really used it much. So the last few days I've wandered around the city, I've taken a bunch of photos with it, and I have some thoughts on what it's like using an 11-year-old Fuji X-T1 in 2025. We're gonna see how this looks. I don't know how many people I'm gonna get in any of the shots today, but might as well, take some details, take some textures. There's tons of grit, tons of fun things to see here in Da Nang. This camera was released in 2013 and the cost of the body only was 1,300 American dollars. The sensor is an APS-C 16.2 megapixel, which at the time was pretty great. If you're somebody who's used to punching in and cropping a lot, that's definitely a consideration when using this camera, that you want to shoot more as you see it because you don't have that flexibility. Sure, 16 megapixel is a lot, and I remember, back when this was released and before that, we were dying for anything above 10 megapixels. It does seem quite a bit more limited than what you've been used to if you've been using modern cameras. So definitely a consideration when using this Fuji X-T1. Where I am today is called Chok Phuc Mai. Basically just means Phuc Mai market. Phuc Mai is the area, Cho means market, and that's where I'm taking some photos around today. This on a normal day is a very, very busy market. Today there's not much happening at all because it's the last day of Tet. I find it interesting that all these little baskets, they all come from Thailand. You can see the Thai writing on them, and I wonder why does these things specifically are from Thailand, because everything here is really very Vietnamese centric. So a lot of Vietnamese stuff, they're very proud of their things, so to have these baskets, the one thing that comes from Thailand, I don't really understand why. If you're looking to use this camera for video, basically the short answer is don't. It's terrible. Use a phone, iPhone, Android, anything from the past 3-4 years, and it's going to be way better than this. There's rolling shutter, there's just artifacts everywhere, it's not sharp, it's terrible. Sure, you have 1080-30, you have 1080-60 even, but it's awful. Use a phone, use something else. Do not buy this camera for the video because you're not going to be happy. Even that retro feel that can be great and can be pleasing, this doesn't have it. It's not a great camera for video, and even in a pinch, I wouldn't really go to this to shoot any video because it's just that bad and doesn't have basically any redeeming qualities that I can find. So don't use this for video, use it for photos. Low light performance is another area where the X-T1 shows its age. With a maximum ISO of 6400, it struggles in darker environments compared to newer cameras with better noise handling. But here at sunset, I'm pushing this 12-year-old sensor pretty hard, 12, 14-year-old sensor, whatever it is. No matter what I get for these photos, it's great to get out and just shoot. And this camera tonight's brought me out of the house a little bit, so yeah, I'm just gonna walk around, shoot a bit more, take a bit more, and then head home for the night. The truth is, this Fuji X-T1 is a lot of fun to use. It feels really good, really sturdy in the hand. I love the tactile dials, they just have a nice click to them. The record button for video is in kind of a weird, hard to get to place, but as I said earlier in the video, don't use this for video and you'll be fine, so this button just basically becomes pointless. I like to be able to change the ISO by dial, that's really nice. Everything just feels nice, it feels natural. It's a great Fuji body, and honestly, I do love the look of the files. The big thing is that it's fun to use. It really feels good in the hand, and it's something that I want to reach for. I want to go out and shoot more. I thought I was only going to walk around and use this for a couple hours, but that ended up being was a couple days. I just reached for it because I was having so much fun shooting this. One thing to remember is that I have a really cheap, almost kit lens 16-50 on here. It's not the greatest lens at all, but I love the look out of it. I can only imagine with some of the better X-mount lenses, which there are tons of now, both Fuji and third party, this thing would just look that much better. If you're shooting landscapes or slower moving subjects in good light, this camera is fantastic. The thing is, you don't need a huge budget to afford this camera. It's not unattainable by any means. Sure, you're missing out on higher resolution, faster autofocus, low light performance is acceptable, but it's really not that great compared to newer cameras. But you're just gaining so much in an affordable package. If you're on a budget or just want a great old Fuji camera to shoot with, then the Fuji X-T1 in 2025, definitely recommend. Pick it up, find it on the used market for a good price, and just have fun shooting it, because it's a great camera to shoot with, keeping in mind the few drawbacks that I've mentioned in this video. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.